Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. We have some major updates in regards to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We have some behind the scenes info in terms of the actual development time, why they chose the name Sparking Zero, and just talking about the overall inspiration from other Dragon Ball games. This is all official from the producer himself. Massive thanks to IGN for hosting this interview. We do have the article right here. Y'all already know I'm going to be covering anything and everything related to Sparking Zero. So without further ado, please make sure to drop a like and let's hop straight into it. So we do have the headline. It says, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero producer says game will have Budokai Tenkaichi's spirit nostalgia. Now, this is extremely awesome to read. Of course, this isn't going to be exactly the same thing as the original trilogy, but just know that they're going to be capturing the Tenkaichi's elements, or as they stated here, the spirit of Tenkaichi, and amplifying things tenfold with the confirmed Unreal Engine 5 that they're implementing. And as we all know, the next-gen consoles, Xbox Series and PlayStation 5, are complete powerhouses. This is going to be extremely top-notch. I mean, we've already seen, based off the trailers, literally seconds to none. I personally know some players or people that haven't been this hyped up for a Dragon Ball game in a long time. They basically stopped playing Dragon Ball games after the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 era. So the Budokai series, the Tenkaichi series, Raging Blast, and Burst Limit. They haven't been this hyped up ever since then. Of course, they've tried all the different upcoming Dragon Ball games at the time, like Xenoverse, Xenoverse 2, Fighters, Kakarot, and Dragon Ball The Breakers. To be fair, they did enjoy Fighters and Kakarot, but point being, a lot of players who haven't been playing Dragon Ball games are now returning because of nostalgia. Only Dragon Ball Sparking Zero can do this, and it's great to see. I want this game to sell 20 million copies day one. Moving forward, it does say Dragon Ball FighterZ ruckus esports scene inspired Sparking Zero's development process. Now, when I first read this, it reminded me of this. I'm not sure if this is accurate at all, but this is the 2018 EVO Championships. We have Sonic Fox going up against Goichi, both being the best players in the world at the time. This is, of course, for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and it's awesome because Dragon Ball FighterZ sold 10 million copies, and as we all know, this is more of the 2D traditional fighter genre, something similar to Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat, stuff like that. And Xenoverse 2 also sold 10 million copies, but it's more for the 3D arena fighter genre. Check this out. The most iconic intro in all of Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's not just the two players. It's everybody in the audience who participated. As what the commentator just said, the people. Only Dragon Ball could be this great, right? They said, nah, we want that, but for the 3D arena genre. And if we do get that, you know, extremely accurate scenes, or just, you know, top of the line scenes in Sparking Zero, this game is going to be doing just fine, because this Sparking Zero is more like of an everybody joins type of game. You know what I mean? Because when Fighters dropped, I did try it out, but the longevity for me specifically was not there, just because it was more of a 2D fighter Dragon Ball game. And don't get me wrong, they are epic, they are awesome, but it's just not my style. I personally enjoy more of the 3D arena fighter Dragon Ball games like Raging Blast, Tenkaichi, Xenoverse. And the producer referring to an actual esports scene from Dragon Ball FighterZ, I don't necessarily think this is going to be extremely competitive. Of course, any game can be competitive, but I'm talking like EVO esports status, right? I mean, it definitely could be. If this does become an esports type of Dragon Ball game, I'm there for it. That would be awesome to see. If that's the case, every single Dragon Ball fan will be playing this game, and it will just be the coolest thing in Dragon Ball history, in my personal opinion. Moving forward, during the Games Awards, Bandai Namco revealed a trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the newest entry in the beloved 3D fighting game series. Seeing as how it's been nearly 15 years, of course, from Tenkaichi 3, 10 years if you count the series spin-offs, you know, Raging Blast 1 and Raging Blast 2, but this is a legitimate sequel to Tenkaichi, not Raging Blast. I know I've been reading some comments and a lot of people saying that this could be a mixture of Tenkaichi and Raging Blast, which it definitely could be, because we do have some features from the Raging Blast series. As we saw, Vegeta can actually deflect the Kamehameha Ki Blast. And we haven't seen that much footage, to be fair. We've seen a couple combo strings. We have snap vanishes, some knockbacks, key deflection, some crazy cinematics for transformations and ultimate attacks, maybe some story mode. We do have to wait for more information in regards to Sparking Zero, because we don't know everything about it just yet, what the story mode is going to be like, if we're going to be getting the different sagas back, or if it's just going to be one continuation storyline, like Xenoverse or Kakarot or even Fighters. Anyway, it's been 15 years ever since players received a new mainline Budokai Tenkaichi game. Folks likely have a lot of questions about Sparking Zero. True. Naturally, IGN assembled the 7 Dragon Balls and spoke with producer Jun Furutani. Now, he said that the game has been in development for 5 years. Jun Furutani to chat about the game's 5-year development process and get some insight into what players can expect when Sparking Zero releases on Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 as well as PC. 5 years is actually crazy. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I don't think any Dragon Ball game has been in development for 5 years. So if we put this into perspective, 5 years ago was 2018. Dragon Ball FighterZ dropped. And as they stated before, right over here, Dragon Ball FighterZ Ruckus esports scene inspired Sparking Zero's development process. So I feel like they literally saw Dragon Ball FighterZ with the crazy combat, the crazy cinematic, the crazy esports surrounding the game, and they said, yeah, we want that. We definitely want that, but for the 3D genre. And if that's the case, then we can definitely expect great things from Sparking Zero. And it's also a bit funny because the developers developing Sparking Zero, Spike Chunsoft, also developed Jump Force. And that game dropped 2019. Yeah, it dropped on February 15th of 2019. So once again, going back to the article, apparently this game has been in development for 5 years, so they've been working on both games at the same time. And again, this is probably why Jump Force didn't perform all too well. Could be extremely wrong on that, but now they know, right? They also developed One Piece, A Burning Blood, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, J-Stars, as well as Jump Force once again. And I feel like this is just going to be leagues above any of those games that they worked on previously, right? Moving forward, although several Dragon Ball games have released since 2007's Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on PlayStation 2 and Wii, Furutani said now felt like the perfect time for this series to return and deliver an evolved Dragon Ball Z gameplay experience on next-gen consoles. So this is going to be the very first Dragon Ball game exclusively for next-gen consoles. Of course, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, that started off on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but then later down the line, they upgraded it for Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. I believe they're doing the same thing for Fighters. They're also going to be dropping Rollback along with it, and as we all know, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, we're getting a lot more DLC within 2024, as well as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series of the game. Now, once again, this is the first Dragon Ball game to only be available on next-gen consoles, meaning it's not going to be on previous consoles. So if we still have PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as well as a Nintendo Switch, we do have to upgrade to play Sparking Zero whenever this drops, hopefully sometime in 2024. Next, it says, what was interesting to see with Sparking Zero was the effect on the environment, thanks to Unreal Engine 5. We also saw in the first teaser trailer when Goku was powering up, we can see the shockwave pushing back the grass. We have the debris rising from the ground, stuff like that. When Goku is charging his ki, you have a little bit of wind picking up, Furutani said, while phantoming Goku's Zenkai boost. When someone crashes through a boulder or a building after an attack, it's happening in real time. It's cool just because I'm not too sure about the cutscenes, but the actual in-game battle is going to be real time. So, with the destructible environment, stuff like that. We'll be using Unreal Engine 5, so the graphics are just that more real and immersive. Furutani says he drew inspiration from his time observing how players in Dragon Ball FighterZ esports scene enjoyed recreating iconic battles from the anime to ensure players could relish in an identical experience with Sparking Zero. So in Fighters, for example, we do have the intros, the dramatic finishers. The one that I have in mind specifically Gohan versus Z Broly with Family Kamehameha versus Gigantic Blast. If they create anime or movie accurate scenes like that for Ultimates or even Team Ultimates, if they do implement that, not entirely sure, that would be crazy if they do, then this will just be the best Dragon Ball experience all around in terms of 3D battle arena genre, in my personal opinion. Sparking Zero is different than Dragon Ball FighterZ, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. FighterZ was created with esports intentions with 2D fighting. Kakarot was about experiencing the story. Xenoverse had players go in as an avatar into the world, Furutani said. The focus here is to push the limits of how much a player can completely immerse themselves into the world and how intensely we can make that happen. They're going to be doing everything in their ability to immerse the players into the world of Dragon Ball. And it's not just Dragon Ball Z, because technically this description could fit Dragon Ball Z Kakarot extremely well, because as we all know, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is literally the Dragon Ball Z story. It's all around world building, stuff like that with the free roam. But at the same time, it was strictly to Dragon Ball Z. This might be everything Dragon Ball, hence the name Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It doesn't say Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero or Dragon Ball Super Sparking Zero. And plus, it's already confirmed that we're going to be getting Dragon Ball Super characters, as we saw from the trailer: Bergamo, Dragon Ball Super Trunks, Jiren, and Blue Goku. So it might be capturing everything Dragon Ball. It's not confirmed that OG Dragon Ball or GT Dragon Ball are going to be in it, but let's be honest, if it's capturing the spirit of Budokai Tenkaichi, then I'm sure we can only assume that it's going to be in the game. Before the new Budokai Tenkaichi trailer made its world premiere earlier this year, fans referred to the previously unnamed title as Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Yep, true. Gematsu spotted a Bandai Namco trademark filing in September. I did cover that here on the channel, revealing that the game would instead adopt the series' Japanese title Sparking, which is also true. Although the subtitle Alright, this is extremely important. Although the subtitle Zero tends to indicate a game ostensibly serving as a prequel entry in an ongoing game series, that isn't the case with Sparking Zero. Rather, the name is meant to embody the game being an accessible starting point for longtime fans and newcomers alike. So I guess you could technically say this is a reboot. I did mention in the last video that it's more than likely a sequel, but now that he stated this, I don't know, because starting points for longtime fans and newcomers alike. So, sequel or a reboot, whatever, this is still the next installment of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, right? So it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just happy we're getting Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Despite my best efforts, I wasn't able to get Furutani to spill the sensus about the game's roster size. No! Hey, he tried. He definitely tried. Alright, so again, I will be dropping this character prediction video probably sometime later this week. Still working on that. But again, if it's anything like the previous series, they did say that they want to capture Budokai Tenkaichi's spirit with nostalgia. So that is in terms of a lot of things. The in-game combat, the story missions, the character roster. So we might be seeing an insane amount of playable characters. Actually, yeah, what am I talking about? That's already been confirmed technically over here on the official Budokai Tenkaichi Zero or official Dragon Ball Sparking Zero website. Right here, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has an incredible number of playable characters. So it's already confirmed that the roster is going to be extremely giant. And plus, you know, majority of the characters from Tenkaichi plus all of the characters from Dragon Ball Super. I don't think it's confirmed, but this might be like the largest character roster in all of Dragon Ball. I mean, to be fair, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has an insane amount. Don't really know how much, but with, you know, the 7 years of DLC, yeah, absolutely crazy. Can Dragon Ball Sparking Zero outperform Xenoverse 2 in terms of the character roster? That's going to be extremely insane. Despite my best efforts, I wasn't able to get Furutani to spill the beans. We read that. The game roster size, or more importantly, if the series' beloved loading screen minigames would make its triumphant return. Oh, that's cool, that's cool. So if you guys don't know, the Tenkaichi series, not just Tenkaichi, but Raging Blast, Budokai, they had different minigames for loading screens when we had to wait like 10 years to hop straight into battle. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was epic. Anyway, so we had like Vegeta doing push-ups, Goku eating food, Cybermen appearing, you know, just to see how many we can get, stuff like that. It was pretty fun. To be fair, don't get me wrong, I do want this to return, but at the same time, this is going to be on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Loading screens are like non-existent on those platforms, right? So that's the only reason why I feel like we won't be seeing any of the minigame loading screens, just because of how fast PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series are. Again, I would like to see these return, but I just don't know about all that. However, Furutani beckoned fans to look forward to more details in the future and expect a robust game when Sparking Zero releases on next-gen consoles. So this isn't well, actually it basically is confirmed. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Actually, this is the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2024 trailer that dropped about a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be airing on January 27th through the 28th, a 2-day event. And if we skip over here, look, you can even see that this is the most replayed part of the trailer. But we do have the classic Budokai Tenkaichi game at the top left corner of the screen. Now, why would they showcase that instead of Sparking Zero? Well, to be fair, they probably just didn't want to spoil anything because the Sparking Zero trailer wasn't out at the time, so they just decided to showcase Budokai Tenkaichi. Anyway, besides all of that, obviously there's nothing new in regards to the classic Tenkaichi game, so I just feel like they're showing this for Sparking Zero. So hopefully we do get something new at the 2024 Battle Hour events. This might be the next big thing in regards to that game. They might even show new DLC for Fighters and Xenoverse 2, so I'm looking forward to this. But this is basically it for today's video, going over the brand new article. Of course, y'all already know this is the best place for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero content, covering everything related to the game up until the game actually drops. Thank you guys for the immense support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!